So I've persuaded Claire Campion to join me in the studio again to talk to me about the way she quilts her quilt. I find it really exciting. You've got a wide variety of designs, but it's with the walking foot.
Yes,
and that's so easy to use because we all like to sew.
Yeah, domestic sewing machine, but with a walking foot, and every single one of my quilts are quilted that way. So, yeah, and it just adds another dimension to the finished quilt.
It certainly, or any project actually, because this little cushion, well, it's actually a big cushion. You've got strip piecing. It's your pattern, isn't it? It's called retro.
Yeah.
And you have over quilted these shapes. You see, to me, I go, oh, no, I've got to miss the shapes.
No, not at all. If you use the right thread that either matches or just kind of sinks into the background fabric, just quilt over it and it just adds like another texture to it.
And we've got a plain grid, but this looks kind of fancy.
Yeah, it's called it's a double boomerang. So you start with a grid kind of on the diagonal, and then you literally just kind of keep doing like triangles, I suppose, through it, and then it just builds up, and you perform you just get this double boomerang shape.
It's really lovely. You've done this for the Maker Studio for
I have, yes. I've walked
you?
Through how to do it step by step on on there.
But it is fascinating. Just using, as you said, the walking foot and a good quality thread.
Yes, a good quality thread. I like to use Orifil thread, but you can use anything. But that's what my go-to is.
That's really lovely. Yeah. So, and this lovely one in front, which is it's got that
it has got
post-wash crinkle.
It's got the crinkle.
Which is gorgeous, but this is also done on the walking foot.
Yeah, I think this is like an orange peel design. So, and it's with the walking foot. You just have to kind of gently ease your quilt through, just giving it a slight curve. But again, like the one before, you start off with a grid. You can see the grid there, and then you kind of go round. So it's like a slight S. So it's not like you're doing these bits and then these bits. You kind of keep building up.
And could you use the grid that you created with your patchwork blocks?
Absolutely,
absolutely.
I mean, I use a book by Jackie Gearing called Walk, and she's got Walk 2.0, and she's got all the designs there, and she'll kind of say what size she's used in her demonstrations. Right. But if you've got a patchwork that has a certain size grid, go with that. It does help. Yeah.
Well, certainly for a beginner.
Yes, absolutely.
And here, very modern quilting on this.
Yes, but I absolutely love it. I did it the once and then fell in love because it's just you just can't stop stroking it.
It's gorgeous.
But this is an echo curve. So imagine I've drawn an S through the centre of the quilt and then kind of just built out either side, and you just follow that first S shape and build it up like a parallel line with a slight curve.
You're making it all sound very simple, but I think it's straightforward.
It's very straightforward, and it's very forgiving because it's a curve. You're not sticking to your patchwork line, so if they're not perfectly straight, it's not going to show them up. So it's
and you've done this again for the Maker Studio, haven't you? You did a variety of designs.
This was one that I just showed how to do.
That was lovely. And we've got here your lovely quilt, which is the Collider.
Yes, this one. So this was just parallel quilting, like thinner kind of diamond, like.
Oh, you started from the middle though.
Yes, started with the square and built out, but kind of like extended the gap a little bit, so it looked like it was bursting out.
Okay. So, and the Collider quilt behind us, though, is quilted very differently.
Yes, that again is very similar to the retro one, where it's boomerang, but it's single boomerang, but with a contrasting thread, so it kind of pulls it out from the back.
Yes. So you see. Yes. Again, it's you can play with that, can't you? We've got so many lovely threads.
Yeah, I know. You don't have to stay with the white thread. You can go bold. So it looks good.
And finally, behind me, we've got circles.
Yes. So my Starlink quilt, it's
again,
exactly the same. It started in the middle. You start with a circle and you literally follow it out. So it's time intensive because it's a lot of sewing, but you're not stopping to mark it or anything. You literally start out and just keep going.
Use the walking foot width as your guide.
Yes. So the width of the edge of your walking foot, you use that as a guide and just go round and round.
And if you wanted, it was certainly for parallel lines like this, if you wanted it slightly wider, there's a gadget.
Bar. Yes, there's a bar that comes through your walking foot, and you literally line it up with the seam before. And
that's super. Yeah. So apart from the stitch, the thread, do you change the stitch length at all or just
slightly go slightly longer, just because if you make a mistake, they're easy to pull out. So about 2.6, I think I normally go for, but there's no hard rules.
No,
like whatever looks good.
You fancy and think.
Yes.
Well, it's very inspirational. Thank you so much for coming in to share today.